The road to Kalachi disappeared into fog long before the village appeared. What was once a dot on the map of northern Kazakhstan had become a place people avoided. Even satellite images seemed to blur around it. Locals called it the sleeping town. Outsiders called it a ghost town. No one agreed on the truth. Adil arrived just before sunset. His car clock flickering between times 6:47, then 6:12, then 7:03, like it couldn't decide when it was. He laughed it off at first, blaming the cold. But the air in Kalachi felt thick, heavy, as if time itself had slowed to a crawl. Houses stood frozen midlife, doors open, laundry stiff on lines, toys half-buried in snow. No wind, no sound, just silence pressing against his ears. A sign near the town center read Kalachi, but beneath it, scratched deeply into the metal, was another word, yesterday. As night fell, Adil entered an abandoned school. The chalkboard still held lessons written decades ago. He brushed his hand over a desk, and suddenly the room filled with noise. Children laughing, chairs scraping, a teacher shouting. His heart pounded as the world snapped into motion. Then everything stopped. The children were still there, but they weren't moving. Their eyes were open, glassy, staring straight through him. A clock on the wall ticked backward. A voice whispered behind him, "You're early." Adil turned to see an old man in a Soviet-era coat. The man's face shifted, young, old, then young again, like multiple versions of him existed at once. "Kalachi doesn't sleep," the man said. "It falls through time." The old man explained what no government report ever did. Beneath Kalachi lay an abandoned uranium mine, not radioactive anymore, but unstable in a different way. It fractured time. Sometimes the town slipped into the past. Sometimes it froze between seconds. People didn't fall asleep. They drifted into other moments and couldn't find their way back. Adil felt dizzy. His watch spun wildly. "You shouldn't stay long," the man warned. "Every minute here is a gamble. Stay too long, and you'll wake up in a year that no longer exists." Suddenly, the school bell rang. The world lurched. Adil found himself standing in the same street, but it was alive. Cars from the 1970s passed by. People stared at him, confused by his clothes. A newspaper headline read, "Kalachi mine expansion approved." Panic surged. He ran. The fog returned, thick and swallowing. When it cleared, Adil was back in the present. But the town was emptier than before. Even the footprints he'd left were gone. As he reached his car, the engine started on its own. The clock stabilized at 6:47. On the passenger seat lay a notebook he didn't remember owning. On the first page, written in his own handwriting, were the words, "If you're reading this, you already stayed too long. Don't go back." Adil drove away without looking back. Behind him, Kalachi slipped quietly into another time, waiting for the next visitor who would mistake silence for sleep.